So today's video is a little bit different from the other videos. This is more of a tutorial behind the scenes type of video, just to give you a little bit of an insight as to how I work with my performers inside of the VCA. Now, with the blessing of one of my longest standing members, I'm going to take you into a little bit of a deep dive as to what his spotlight looks like and show you exactly how we work. But more specifically, I want to show you how I work with my VCA audit program. Now, the VCA audit program was launched about 3 or 4 months ago. Now, it's very, very simple how this works. The client reaches out, zero contract, they onboard themselves into the program, they send me their spotlight, they send me the materials that they would like to submit to Spotlight, and I go in and go through all of their materials with a fine-tooth comb, vocally, acting through song, their framing, their lighting, the sound, what's working and what isn't, and essentially tell them and show them exactly how to display their materials. Now, with my VCA audit program, recording material and coaching through your material in real time inside of my app and treating vocals and mix and mastering and all of that is not included in the VCA audit program. What is included is mentorship through your Spotlight, mentorship on the material that you've already shot, and how you display that to industry creatives and traffic that come through your Spotlight. And as I said, we've seen some huge success, which has been fantastic. Now, the great thing about this and everything that I'm going to speak to you about today is you can do this from home, from where you are watching this right now, unless, of course, you are on a commute to work or to a show or whatnot. You can do this from your bedroom. It's as simple as that. There are a couple of programs that I would need you to download, and it's super simple, and I'm going to show you that. But what else is really good about this is it's budget friendly. You're not having to go out and spend £400-500 on a reel. Now, the great thing about these show reel companies, where you carve out some time, you go in, record 2 or 3 songs, and it looks fantastic, you sound fantastic, which is great. Problem with that is, in 3-4 months time and you sound different and you want to record some other material, you've got to go back and spend that again and again and again, and you can see where I'm going with that. Doing it this way, you get real raw material that you can swap and change as and when you want. The vocals are going to sound clean, crisp, a little bit treated, but you are going to sound like you, and that's what's seriously important. One thing that I'm seeing in the industry a lot, as I speak to a lot of industry creatives, and when they see these show reels done by these great companies, it's too polished. It's too polished. Vocals are too treated. You don't sound like that, and you don't look like that when you go into an audition. So you can see where I'm going with that. When you're on YouTube, which you are on right now, when an advert comes along, you can't wait to click skip, because everything just looks too polished, really overly done. And if it's really overly done, you just want to skip it. Now, in the minds and in the world of an industry creative, when they come onto your page, the traffic that comes onto your Spotlight, they click that, they see a 6-minute, 5-minute long show reel, really polished. It looks like an advert. And something that I'm seeing and hearing in the industry from these industry creatives, that it's been done before. They know what they're going to get. They know what that looks like. They know what that sounds like. It's overly done. And here's the thing. We're not out here trying to be the next Adele. Or you might be. Or win a Grammy. We're really not out here doing that. We are trying to showcase our talent to prospective agents, to industry creatives, to get your foot in the door, to get you to audition. Vocals will be treated minimally, but you'll sound crisp and nice, and everything looks really professional. And the great thing about this is you can swap and change whenever you want. As I said, with the blessing of one of my longest standing members, Liam, we're going to take a deep dive into his Spotlight to show you exactly how I work. So without further ado, as I am waffling, let's get straight into the training. So we all know what Spotlight looks like. Now, if you have been living under a rock for decades. Spotlight is essentially the platform that casting directors use to submit briefs, and your agent, or if you don't have an agent right now, that's totally cool, but an agent looks through the briefs. If they feel you are right for a particular role in a show, then they submit you, and if the casting director bites by looking through your spotlight, they bring you in. Simple as that. So this is the platform, and this is what the typical spotlight page looks like. Not the typical spotlight page, because we have done some work inside of here. So let me take you through it. So the first section that I want you to look at is here. Your headshots. Headshots are super important because this is the first window as to who you are, what you're about. Immediately they take one look at your spotlight and one look at your headshot and make a decision. A lot of agents out there suggest new headshots every couple of years, which is fine. However, there is a little bit of a workaround here. When you have had your headshots done, you will have had a huge portfolio shot. You'll have loads of images. Now, what we can do here, rather than having this one here as our default, we might want to change it around. We might want to switch it around and maybe choose this one or this one or this one or this one, or something that you have got in your archives that you want to bring back out. Just think about it like repurposing your content with a fresh new look. So there's my first tip to talk about today. So that is something that you can talk to your agent about if you are running on a little bit of a budget and just surviving in this industry right now. Having a little switcheroo might be the way for you. Everything else here is pretty self-explanatory. Your representation is found in here. You might not be represented right now, so it would say self-represented. And let me just give you a little bit of a insight here and a little bit of a plug. If you aren't represented right now, drop me the word agent over on Instagram and I'll send you a bunch of free materials to get you an agent. There we go. Back to the training. So moving down. Now I think what Liam has done here is a really nice touch, actually. Personally, when it comes to reviews and reading reviews and listening to reviews, for me, this is a very personal thing. I don't particularly look at reviews and I don't like to read them, but if it is specifically for you and you're just getting out there in the industry, this might be a really nice touch. I think it's a really nice touch. The shows that you've done, whether they be from drama school, pantomimes, cruises, whatever that looks like for you, inside of About Me, he has dropped in some of his reviews inside of there. Now, I think this is a really nice touch because when traffic are coming through here, they can see, oh, Liam has been in Avenue Q. Liam's rod is also a wonderful creation, and his ability and all of that. You can see the review there. So if they haven't seen the show, which chances are they might not have, they can get a little bit of an insight as to what the audience thought of your performance or his performance in this case. So that's a really, really nice touch. That might be something to think about. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Musical, stage, pantomime, feature films, all these things that he's done. Training at the bottom, currently training with Dean John Wilson of the VCA, and then his credits for training down here. Now, just to give you something to think about, inside of the About Me, if you don't want to put the reviews, or you might not have done any shows, which is, again, totally fine. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Or inside of the training in here. What are you currently doing right now to push you closer to your goals? What does that look like? Is training what you did, or is training what you do? Because someone who trained at Mount View or ArtSet or GSA or any of these fantastic schools back in 2012, 2015 or whatever, and you've not done anything else since then, or you might have, but you haven't put it on your spotlight. Put it on your spotlight. Yeah, taking classes at Pineapple, working with the VCA or a coach, a singing teacher, an acting coach. You're taking regular lessons at the Actors Temple, or you know, you're doing some screen acting work, whatever that looks like for you, or you went to Identity, or you're doing a short course, or you're doing that, put them all in here because it shows that you are being proactive and you are sharpening the axe as opposed to just chopping aimlessly. So drop that all inside of here, inside of the training or inside of the About Me, so they can actively see that you are still working when technically, if you haven't got any credits, you're still working towards something. And let me tell you, that level of professionalism, like, is worth its weight in gold to industry creatives, agents, and casting directors. Awesome. Let's get back to the spotlight. So now we're going to look at the materials. What do the materials look like and what should they look like inside of this section here? All right. So immediately, as you can see, we have 3 thumbnails. Now, I want you to think about your spotlight page. When you're on Instagram or when you're on TikTok, it's a huge melting pot and there's just lots of different bits of content everywhere. Now, you know yourself, the content that has how-to content or why content, stuff that is really simple to navigate. If you go through someone's feed and you see something that catches your attention, you immediately have sparked a bit of curiosity. I want to look at that. So think about a industry creative coming in here and they are looking for a contemporary sound, a musical not too dissimilar to Little Women. Immediately they can see Take a Chance on Me, Little Women. They click on it and they're in. Now, a lot of people, a lot of performers, when I am yet to work on their spotlight, when they first join the VCA, I look at their spotlight and they have 6-minute clips, 7-minute clips. I mean, I've even seen 10+ minute clips. Now, you may be the most talented person inside of musical theatre. You may be. But I promise you, the chances that anybody is going to listen to 10 minutes of you, especially when they're looking through hundreds of spotlight pages, is very, very slim. They might do, but what we want to do is increase your chances of people sticking around and getting you inside the audition room. So, back to the spotlight. His material inside of here, both his dance reel and his song here, is under 1 minute. The best bits. These were both 3-4 minutes long, but we cut them down. Now, you may have a 6-7 minute show reel, which is fantastic. What I would like you to do, and what I advise to do, which is something that I advise everyone, is to go away, use something like CapCut, use something like Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, whatever it is that you use, to really choose your best bits and just make all of the content inside of here. Thumbnails are, I'm not saying they are an integral part of Spotlight, but when you look at his Spotlight right now, you can immediately see, I want to watch his dance reel. Awesome. It's only 50 seconds long, 48 seconds long. I can do that. Bang. Take a Chance on Me. I know that song. It's a great show. I want to look at that. Some speeches, some contemporary monologues. What we've done with Liam's page here is we have had a complete refresh, which is something that everyone can do. So we've deleted a lot of material and we're putting a fresh new look on it. We recorded some material the other day and I want to give you a little bit of a sneak preview of that, and you can do exactly the same with it. Let's show you the work that we've been doing over the last couple of days.
There are giants in the sky. There are big, tall, terrible, awesome, scary, wonderful giants in the sky.
Excellent stuff. So this was shot in his bedroom, at home, on his phone. Granted, he had a mic. Mics and audio interfaces you can pick up. You can get really inexpensive equipment and they work just fine. We did a coaching call as part of Liam's package that he has with me, and we worked through it, the acting through song, the vocal quality. I took away all of the stems and the comps and the vocal comps that we did, and I put them together and created a little bit of a polished sound on it. Touch of reverb, a little bit of compression, and I didn't need to do any tuning in it. Yeah, I mean, I've worked in the industry of recording and studio work and stuff for a long time, so I'm pretty savvy when it comes to recording stuff. And we shot it and recorded it right from his bedroom. And as you can see, just looking at that, everyone's got a white wall, or everyone's got a clean wall. Everyone's got a smartphone. Pretty much everybody has. You don't need a mic, but it's ideal if you can invest in a microphone. You can use the camera audio on your phone. That's totally fine. However, if you can, have access to a mic, that would be amazing. It sounds professional. It sounds great. It doesn't sound overly polished. Now, that's the key word here, polished. We don't want it to sound too polished, because then it looks like an ad. You got the green plant pots and the awesome background and the bokeh camera and all of that stuff. We don't want to see that, because we want to see what you look like and what you sound like when you come into the room. If you look at someone's headshot and it just doesn't look like them when they come in the room, well, immediately it's probably a or looking at your spotlight and you see the material on there, and then when they come in the room, it just doesn't quite match up. So don't be afraid of imperfections. Imperfections are really attractive. So if something is a little flat or just not as supported as you want it to be or how it could be, don't be afraid to put that content out there. Yes, you can treat it and slightly modify it and fix it. Shooting material like this from your room just gives you so much creative freedom to repost, repurpose, and just work on yourself and work on your craft. You're wanting to better yourself. You're wanting to put content out there. Most people's Instagrams nowadays is your CV, is your spotlight, is the first window to who you are. So you could repurpose some of this on your stories, on your feed posts, because a lot of producers and a lot of industry creatives look at your Instagram. They do. When they look through your spotlight or submitted by your agent, or they hear your name, where do you immediately go to? You go to Instagram. You might go to TikTok, but chances are you go to maybe Google. But this day and age, we go to Instagram. Type in Dean John Wilson, type in Liam McGrath, type in your name, and immediately we just get an idea of who you are. Social media training is something that I'm going to look at as well, as to what your social media can look like, and just give you little tips and tricks and hacks to make you come across really well. And that starts with what your profile picture should look like, and what your bio should look like, and your 3-pin post should look like. I really do hope that you got a bunch of value from this. Don't be afraid, if budget doesn't permit, to shoot your own content, shoot your own material, just like this. Yeah, I'm also going to attach some links to microphones that I recommend and audio interfaces that I recommend. Fairly cheap, I think about 200 quid, but it's an investment for life. You'll have it forever. You won't need the thousands and thousands of pounds worth of equipment. You just don't, to do what we're doing. As I said, we're not out here trying to win a Grammy. We're just trying to create decent content for the traffic inside of Spotlight and your social media. My name's Dean John Wilson. I'm the head mentor of the VCA. I can't wait to shoot the next training. If you are interested in my VCA audit program, doors are always open. If you are interested, all you got to do is head over to my Instagram and DM me with the word audit, and I will ping you all of the details. And as I mentioned earlier, if you are after some free materials and a free space to get more value, to look at potentially doing some outreach with agents and getting the attention of prospective agents, head over to my Instagram, DM me with the word agents, and I'll send you that material totally free. But hopefully I'll work with you on an audit, or I might work with you on a more longer term basis. If not, I will see you on the next training. Adios, amigo.